Yeah, my mom did all right. We weren't rich, but we weren't poor. We were definitive. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's how we were too.
So it was like I bought my clothes at Target until high school.
Were you allowed to buy your own clothes?
No.
Your mom had to buy them for you?
Yeah. Everything was in a budget.
At Target?
Yeah.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah. And kids knew.
Kids knew.
Kids know. Kids know that you're not wearing Jenkos, that you're wearing utility jeans.
Oh my God, you guys. I just did the worst introduction I might have ever done on this podcast. God, it was just so boring and meandering and bad. I was about to upload it, and then I'm like, what am I doing? This is just going to turn 8.5 minutes of just garbage. Anyway, hello everyone. How are you? I'm back in America, back in Los Angeles. I'm here while I do road weeks, getting ready for my special, October 29th. Big news. So I looked at the seating chart, and I'll have 20 extra tickets. So if you want a ticket and you're coming from far away, if you want to travel and see this, especially if you have not seen this, if you've not seen me on stage for the last year and a half, then tell me, and I'll try to get you tickets, especially if you can bring a girl with you. I think I need more girls to come. So contact at arishafir.com or hit me on Twitter or Facebook. I check everything. That's why I need to get off. That's why I'm going to get a flip phone. I'm 50-50 on getting a flip phone right now. Half because I'm off iPhones, because once I realized they use multiple forms of slave labor in their production of iPhones, I can't buy one anymore. Also, they suck, so it's easier not to. Ever since Steve Jobs died, you guys, that company's gone downhill. It's time you admit it. That company's gone downhill. The first update with the maps, bullshit. If you think they're still where they were, bullshit. That's still a name. That's all they've got is their name, and they're ruining it. That maps update where they took you in the middle of nowhere, Steve Jobs never would have stood for that. Left and right, they're fucking up. I can't think of any more because I'm a pothead, but they are out there. There's tons of examples. It's just worse. They're worse. They're catching up to everybody else, but also the slave labor. On this episode, I have my friend Dan Soder, who's a very funny comedian. I did not pick the best topic in the world for discussion because I picked being raised in a single parent household. He was raised by his mom. His dad was out of the picture. I thought I'd be more rich, but then I just really couldn't think of many questions that would for a single mother, I could think of tons of questions. But for a kid, most of the experience is just you don't know the difference. You just go play with your friends. It's only looking back and wondering what you missed. That's the difference in experience, and that's not really your experience. That's just you wondering. So anyway, we got into a little bit, but Dan Soder is a very funny comic. I'm going to have him on again. He was a waiter for a long time. And I didn't want to do that because I had a podcast with the head chef at Noma that I can't record anymore, which is okay, but he said it was came off bad. He didn't want me to air it. It's fine. I still had a wonderful meal, and I had a great discussion with him. It was a lot of fun. So even though I can't air it, I still got the benefit out of it. None of you guys did. But to make up for that, I'll be doing an interview with Bobby Kelly talking about our epic meal at the best restaurant in the world 3 out of the last 4 years. So I had Dan Soder on. I'll have him on again. Some dates real quick. By the way, I just got back from Dayton, Ohio. Fuck. I mean, if the national average for unemployment was 11%, that's what they admitted. It was 14, 15%. They just stopped counting people who were on unemployment for so long that they stopped qualifying for unemployment. The Obama administration was we need to make gains on unemployment, so let's just not count those people anymore. So suddenly, the unemployment level just dropped, and they're look how we're making a difference. No, you're just not counting people that are unemployed for so long that they can't even qualify for unemployment. That's not how you find jobs. That's just whatever. Fucking politics. Revolutionaries, I'm behind you. Even if I don't support you with my weapons and my fucking money, I support you. It's time. It's time to start the revolution. Peaceful if you can, but we all know that's not going to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, let's start the episode. Oh, so Dayton, Ohio. Oh my God, you guys. So I did the first of my 3 weeks getting ready, doing my hour, and it was in Dayton. Cool club, Wiley's. Everyone should check it out. New owners, and they're starting to have new people in there. So if you go there to Wiley's and tell them they don't have an old core ownership, tell them who you want to see. Tell them you want to see Tom Segura. Tell them you want to see these guys. By the way, Tom Segura, go to his website and check him out. One of the best comics in America. If you're not, I know you know his podcast or whatever, but if you're not seeing him on stage, you're really missing out. You should go see him. So anyway, that Dayton week was fun, but man, that city is unemployed. There was like 8 check-cashing places right next to my hotel, like 8 different check-cashing places, and nowhere to cash them in. No restaurants. No, nothing open at late or during the day. The only place to eat, literally two of the 3 places to eat during the day were at job centers. But fun regardless. Super fun regardless. I mean, I didn't have a job there, but I wasn't looking for one, so it didn't affect me. Some dates real quick. So that was Dayton. Then I'll be this weekend in San Diego at American Comedy Company, 16th through 18th, with Fahim Anwar, and possibly one night Lance Kenstopoulos. If you are coming to my Storyteller show, do not come to San Diego. If you saw me in La Jolla, it's going to be the same hour, so only come if you're a super pothead and forgot the jokes. That is one of the benefits, by the way, of having potheads for fans, is that they forget the jokes and they can come again. But don't fuck around with my special. You might not forget. But seriously, if you've seen it a bunch, do not come. Just sell your ticket to someone else or sell it back to the store, and they'll sell it to someone else. What else? Oh, so here's the deal. So I'm also going next weekend to Appleton, Wisconsin, the 23rd through the 25th. Cool club. Wanted to record my CD there. Eventual Holocaust. Couldn't make it happen, but I'm glad I'm getting a chance to go. I went once for one day, so it's cool to do a whole weekend. But guess what? Dan Soder is also there this weekend, the 16th to the 18th. So being the Jew that I am, I called the owner, Cliff Dietrich, and I said, Cliff, my fans don't know Dan Soder. How about we do a 2-for-1 special? And he said, Ari, you're the Jew, not me. But I convinced him. So listen, if you buy a ticket for Dan Soder this weekend, and he's legitimately a funny comic, you guys, I'm not going to go this in depth with people if they're not funny comics. I'll just say, oh, they're a good friend and they're funny. You'll be able to see through what I say. If you've listened to this podcast enough, you can see the difference. I'm not going to be glowing and flowery over a guy I don't think is funny. But Dan Soder is funny. So, if you get a ticket for Dan Soder and use the code REPOD, it might be all caps, I think it might be, then you get a free ticket for me on Thursday or Friday, the 23rd or 24th. He said Saturday sells out no matter what, so not for that. But that's 2-for-1, you guys. See Dan Soder, use the code REPOD, and then get a ticket for me for Thursday or Friday right now. Do it. Why not? I'm hooking you the fuck up. If you're coming to see my special, I already said that from far away, let me know. And then I'm going straight from there to Maui for the Maui Comedy Festival. Perfect vacation. And then my Storyteller show's in New York on November 6th. Me, Norton, Mark Normand from my podcast, Bridget Everett. I'm looking for one more big name. All right. Then Vancouver and Utah in November. You guys, that's it. Let's start the episode. This was a much better introduction than the last one. I apologize, even though nobody ever heard the last one. So, Ari Shaffir Skeptic Tank, episode 188. KMOQ with Dan Soder. Hinchcliffe? Yeah.
Yeah. There was a couple guys where I was like, oh, fuck. I like finding out about LA guys that are really good.
Yeah, you would think you would know all of them, too. I just realized it's about England comics, too. There's just a bunch that we've just never heard of.
Yeah.
Unless you have a big TV, a lot of TV credits, then you're like,
even then,
why would it come up? Why would somebody tell me?
Unless you watch someone special, I don't even think you really.
Yeah, I used to turn on Premium Blend and stuff.
Yeah.
And I would just be like, oh, who's on this episode?
Yeah.
Or at the beginning of Letterman, it says who's going to be all the guests. And if there's a comic, I'd be like, okay. Or if it says comic, somebody I've never heard of, I'd be like, I don't know them.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if they're from New York or they're from Michigan. I have no idea.
And you have no idea. Yeah, exactly. And it's almost it takes a recommendation from a friend to be like, you got to see this guy.
Yeah, you got to check
And then
you're
like, and then it piques that interest where you're like, kind of like it used to be with music when I was a kid, where I was like, all right, I'm going to listen to this band.
Oh, that cool guy likes them.
Yeah. He's got good taste.
Yeah.
So.
You ever have somebody tell you, oh, you got to check out this guy, and then that guy's name comes up later, and you go, without even having seen them, you go, oh, yeah, they're really funny.
Yeah. Well, I think that's
what
like
a fraud I am.
Yeah. And everyone doesn't admit it, but I'll totally admit it. Yeah, you become such a fraud. You're like, oh, he kills. And you're like, have you seen him? You're like, no.
You're like, this is my problem with the industry. The same thing I'm doing now is that they just go by what everybody else is saying.
I've noticed everything we ever bitch about as comics, we're all guilty of doing.
Just human nature. Not industry nature, just human nature.
We're like, they just put this guy on because they saw him do one set. And you're like, yeah, but you said you loved this guy and you saw him do 3 minutes and you walked outside to smoke weed.
Whenever people talk about like which girls they find funny, they always brought up like, oh, so-and-so did really well one time. It's like, so you watched half her set once?
Yeah.
And you're willing to say she's one of the ones that are, you watched half of one set once. Okay.
You saw, or even you saw a tweet and you're like, oh,
yeah,
that's
exactly.
funny.
She's a really funny comment from a tweet. Yeah. It's like you're doing them a disservice.
Yeah, it's
rewarding garbage. Whatever.
Just being like, oh, well, it's fucking high school, man.
Yeah.
It's that high school bullshit.
I used to have like a real code in my heart of like I wouldn't tell people they were good or their stand up was something I liked unless I liked it.
I still do that.
I've done it a couple times though.
You know what? I've broken. I will never.
It always feels bad though.
I will never. If I don't think someone's funny, I will never say they're a great comic.
Oh right.
But what I will do.
Say good set.
Not really. If I'll have to watch at least a minute of it,
right?
Then I'll feel comfortable being like,
right.
All right.
If you watch the last when the light goes off, you get there right then, and you watch the last 3 minutes, and they did well. I don't mind saying, hey, good job.
Yeah.
If they were getting laughs,
yeah. If you can quote something specific from that act that they did, but you can't just walk in the room and be like, hey, great set.
Oh right.
And you're like, well,
that's just fake.
Yeah.
I saw who's the white haired guy from Blue Collar Comedy?
Ron White.
Yeah, I saw him at the store. He popped in the store. I've never seen him there before, and he went on, and it was so-so. Mm-hmm. But then I saw him in the back afterwards, and I mean, I kind of look up to him not because I know his material, just because I guess of his pedigree. I don't really know. Yeah. And I was like, "Hey, good job, man. Good set." And he was like, "Yeah, thanks." And it was just like, "Oh yeah, he knew he had a bad set." Why am I like he's been doing comedy for 25 years. He understands that was just a shitbox set that he threw up. And I'm telling him good job. Like, come on.
This grizzled vet's going to get brightened up from you saying good set like he's an open micer. He's like, hey, thanks, man.
What I meant was it was cool to get a chance to see you.
Yeah.
That's what I should have said.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to do that, like to be that more honest route and be like, hey, this joke's really funny.
Yeah.
Like I'll be like, hey, I saw you do this joke. That's really funny.
Yeah, I like that. Just nurture the one good thing.
Yeah. And then they're like, oh, thanks. Because I and you'll probably agree with me, as a comic, you're always, when someone picks something specific from your act, you're like, oh, thank you. So you saw that. Okay, good. Because you know what they're looking for. So you're like, oh, yeah, okay, I feel good about that now.
There was this girl, Stephanie, who did some shitty joke about her being half German and half Spanish.
Yeah.
And then she did a whole act out about the sperm going like, this will look like me, something like that. I don't know. And the egg having a Spanish accent, whatever it was. And I was like, Stephanie, you're better than that joke. You're a smart girl. Like, that's dumb. And she goes, no, people I respect really like it. And then I realized, oh, you're pretty. So people you respect tell you, hey, good job. But it's not a defensible joke.
That's penis talking. That's not comic talking.
Yeah. And they just see respected comic.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're doing people a disservice telling them fucking things were good when they weren't.
Yeah, that's almost like They Live. Like when a hot girl gets complimented by a comic, you're like, well, they're inhabited by a penis. That's not really them. They're possessed by their want to fuck you.
Natasha Leggero once, we were talking about boobs, and she was like, Ari, most guys I talk to say they like smaller boobs. And I was like, most guys that you talk to say they like the thing that you have. Interesting. That's so interesting.
Yeah, it's like having a green backpack on, and they're like, green backpacks are the best.
Yeah, everyone I know likes green backpacks. Everyone I see.
I love big fat titties. It'd be great to always debunk that.
I was like, people are getting
hilarious.
Breast implants. It's a whole industry's going on, but everybody likes your boobs, huh?
Oh, but apparently there's this fucking underground swelling of small titties that everyone's.
It's the craziest sweep in the nation.
Yeah, why don't you go to that mansion with that guy that does breast augmentation?
Did you see my trophy?
Yeah, what is that for?
Comics Basketball League.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you ball?
Yeah. Look at the award.
Look at this trophy. Best worst player. Best comic / worst player, Comedy Basketball League, fall 2011.
Yeah.
How terrible are you? Because I'm really bad too.
I'm ABA-ish now. The fundamentals have never gone away. I can do a look-away pass with the best of them.
Really?
Bounce pass. Follow through, though. Follow through.
You really do have like, you look like you'd be like a point guard at Princeton.
Right,
where you'd be like, you do the elbow turn.
Yeah,
and you'd be like,
absolutely.
pass, and shoot, and shoot, and shoot.
I love running the back door.
Yeah.
Especially in pickup games. It's the greatest. No one expects it, and it's just a free basket 1 to 2 times a game.
I am so bad at basketball, I don't even think I could run a back door.
Did you ever play with the guys when they played?
Yeah.
This month?
And not this month. I used to play when everyone played back in Astoria in Queens. I used to go out on Wednesdays. And I think my game, do you know sports a lot?
Yeah.
I would probably say my game is, I always compared myself to Arvydas Sabonis after his knees went.
Oh.
So I just like, I
Not
have
much
like
hang time, but really.
no hang time.
Just, yeah.
And I just got one move.
Yeah.
And it sometimes works.
The duck under?
Yeah, the duck under, and then I just put it in. And
Duck
then,
under's great.
because I'm tall, they'd always put me on Big J. And Big J plays
He
like
plays like an oaf.
he plays like Shaq in
Yeah,
02.
is my arm still fucking injured? When I was shooting these promos for that storyteller, they're like, "Whoa, did we injure your arm doing these promos?" I'm like, "No, fucking Jay with his frat guy shoved my fucking gigantic frame into you."
He's got real Philadelphia game. It's like that violent back you down and then just put it in real quick.
4 beers a night frame. That's what it is. It's all those frat guys. They always fucking play big. I'm like, you're 5'11" or 5'10".
What's up, bro?
Yeah, why are you a center? Get out of here.
I took an Adderall before I hit the court.
I used to take Vivarin before flag football.
Oh, Viagra?
No, Vivarin.
Oh, that's hilarious. I thought you took running around with your dick bouncing.
That way they can't grab the flag. It's a natural. You can't. You're not allowed to block with your hand.
Did I hit the flag or his dick?
Either way, I came.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long you been here in New York? You started here?
I started in Tucson for 2 years, and then like
University of Arizona.
Yeah. So I knew I had to get out of there because
Yeah.
I was watching like.
Is there a scene there?
No, I mean there's comics there, but there's a club, Laughs, but there's the headliners they draw in, like 1 out of every 6 are good.
Right.
So you're seeing a lot of road hacks.
Just good, but not even like known. Just good.
Yeah, just good. You're not like getting big guys. It's a C-level club.
Yeah.
So you're seeing like guys that were good in the 90s. Because I started in 04.
But every once in a while, you get a good someone like
You get like a Troy Baxley from Denver.
Okay.
Or you get like Ben
Troy.
Creed, who's like an old New York guy who just fucking murders, and he's funny. Really funny. And so I would watch those guys and kind of be like, I would make sure I watched all of their shows. But then like, the next week would be like, you know, a hypnotist, or like TC Hatter and Marcier and the Silent Clown. And you're like watching, you're like, what the fuck is this?
They've just made that commitment at Clippers basketball of like, we're going to put out a low amount of output money-wise.
Yep.
We're going to get as much as we can back from that.
And I'll tell you what, man, Tucson audiences, they would come out because it's the only comedy club.
They would.
So they'd come out.
Oh, so why? What's the incentive to get better comedy?
They didn't have a need to try to book better acts. And they would get good young guys on the way up.
That's good.
Yeah, they'd book like a lot of funny younger guys that would maybe just started headlining.
Hopefully they'll show some loyalty when they get better. That's maybe their plan.
Yeah, but then they changed owners and that got fucked. And then the new owner was like, because I
you ever go there? Do you ever play there anymore?
No, I started there, and then I moved from MC to feature within like a year and a half.
Yeah.
And then I tried to go back out there to feature once I moved to New York, and the guy was like, "Send me a 30-minute tape," and I was like, that's impossible."
Yeah, where am I going to get that?
And he's like, "Well," and I was like, "You're a fucking dick."
Yeah.
And then I just, and then I've been out here. I moved out here in 07, January of 07. So I've been here about 7.5 years.
I almost tried to get booked in Tucson once for a girl I wanted to hook up with.
You should do Club Congress.
Club Congress?
Yeah, it's where like Stanhope does.
That sounds like someplace would play Pussycat Dolls.
Yeah, I think it is.
At night, afterwards, it turns into that.
I think it really is.
Ugh.
I think there's like Sambuca shots and
garbage.
Yeah, but it's a cool venue.
Look, if you're going to have one of those venues, at least have Jello shots.
I think they might.
Okay.
I don't know
Arizona
how
had
it's
a lot of that. Arizona had a lot of like deck drinking, right?
Yeah, what it is they try to have the beach atmosphere without the ocean.
Right.
That's all Arizona's got.
Yeah.
It's
Because
like
that weather, that dry, warm weather.
And it's fucked up.
Yeah,
Because
no ocean, but flip flops.
You think it's like you're 4 blocks away from the ocean at all times.
Yeah.
And then you just keep turning corner. It's like hell. You just keep turning a corner, and there's never a body of water.
Wow. That's how Tempe and Scottsdale are too.
Yeah. It's that very beach culture where they're like, let's drink some rum and fucking hang out. And you're like, that's why Havasu. That's why they go nuts about Lake Havasu, which is an okay lake.
People go boating out there, right?
Yeah, they're like, we're going to Havasu. And you're like, how about we go to California?
And go to the actual beach.
Go to the ocean.
Yeah.
and have fun. And they're like,
no, jet skiing.
And a lot of the people that went to Arizona, I went to Arizona with, were like rich kids from San Diego.
Oh, really?
So they really had that like.
Do they call it the Sioux?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I didn't.
I don't know if they did. I just right now thought maybe that's something they would have called.
I didn't really hang out with them.
Oh,
because they're always like, let's do a Zanny bar and do shots. I'm like, you guys are gonna die.
Zanny bar.
Yeah.
Kurt Metzger's convinced now. He goes, you can to be fine on any drug. Don't mix.
Yeah.
Once you start mixing is when you die.
That's how it's always happened.
Yeah. That's what Geraldo didn't know.
Yeah.
Nobody told Geraldo, don't mix.
You mix, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Because then your body starts fighting one off.
Yeah.
And then the other one.
The problem is sometimes mixing is so good.
Weed and alcohol was always a great mix.
Weed and alcohol is a really good one.
Yeah. But some people can't mix it though.
I remember early on smoking when I would be high for like 4 or 5 hours once you got high.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, I miss it. That's what happened when I got a ball of wax that did that to me.
Oh, really?
And then what I love about Kurt is I was talking to him about it, and Kurt's always semi-distracted.
Yeah.
Whenever you're talking to him, he's always got like this thing going on in his head. And I was like, I got that. He's like, what is it? Is it the flaky or the sticky kind? I go, the sticky kind. He goes, yeah, it'll fuck you up. And it was like, it got me like high school high.
Yeah.
I took a whack when I got off stage off my G-Pen. I just hit it really hard, like twice. It was in the hallway in the cellar, in the back, like with the staircase. And then I went upstairs and it fucking hit me, and I was like, I gotta go. Like,
yeah, that wax.
I'm way too high.
It makes me cloudy though. If I smoked out of a G-Pen like that after like 2 or 3 days, even like 3 days later, I'm still like, what? What did you say?
I call it brain mud.
Brain mud, yeah.
Because you just feel like you're walking in mud mentally.
Yeah.
You're like, I can't get my feet.
It gets you fucked up though. That part's good, but then it's the afterwards.
I like it. I like wax on the road.
Because you can't get anything else. And you can
you can bring it with you.
Yeah.
Not only that, but in my hotel room, because I don't drink anymore, I don't go out. So I'll bring like my PlayStation and I'll just...
What a fucking... God, all these guys bring their PlayStations with them now.
Well, it's better than going and cheating on my girlfriend and drinking and fucking up my life.
Well, maybe to her and to you. Me, I don't care either way.
Yeah, you don't. As a third party, you don't give a fuck.
It's just weird. It was like the road used to always be this dangerous thing. Like, we're going to get fucked up, which I never wanted to get fucked up all the time. But like...
I used to love that.
I don't know, the idea of PlayStation. Like, well, let's go back to the room and play.
Because I know how much I like drinking.
Yeah.
Especially when I go to cities like Bloomington or like Madison, Wisconsin.
Madison's good.
And they're like, we want to come out to the bar? I'm like, I'll fucking come off the wagon.
Yeah.
I will easily come off the wagon, and then I won't just have a couple. Like, I'll go until my body shuts down. Yeah. And I know that. So I'm like, I got a little bit of wax, and I got fucking a couple DVDs, you know, go watch it on my PlayStation, maybe play some Madden, and then go to sleep. And then wake up like, I'll go explore the city. It's just so much better for me.
Wow.
Because I used to I remember there was a weekend in Seattle where I did a club in Kirkland, Washington.
Oh, yeah. Jokers?
Laughs. Laugh Spot. I think it's called Laugh Spot.
Maybe Laughs.
Laughs. Yeah, just Laughs.
Oh, yeah, it's Kirkland. Okay, that's not Central Washington. That's
no.
near Seattle.
Yeah, it's right outside. It's a suburb of Seattle. Yeah.
And what?
I got so fucked up the first night I was there that I just stayed in my hotel room throwing up and then walking to get fast food and then like eating that, sleeping, throwing up again, and then starting to drink again. And that's all I did all weekend.
Wow.
Was I would just go and get blackout drunk at night and then wake up sick all day, drink to feel okay again right before the shows, do the shows, then get even more fucked up and then just sleep all day. Wow. And so it was like, if I bring a PlayStation...
I heard even like Pablo on his worst days, they would be like, they'd see him like show up for the show on Friday, and they'd be like, "Hey, Pablo, are you wearing the same clothes as yesterday?" And they realized like he hadn't stopped yet. He's gonna go to sleep after these shows.
Jesus, that's fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah, some stories I've heard about Pablo. I'm like, maybe I should bring my.
It was illegal, not illegal, but against the rules for the features to drink in the green room because that was going to get him started. Yeah. So no one was allowed to drink with him. Couldn't even go out with him afterwards to drink. Like you were not permitted to do that.
And can you imagine that it's not even self-inflicted? Like the club knows that. That's how you know you've got a fucking problem. Is when the club is like, it's like all the stories you used to hear about. What was his name? John Fox. Yeah. All those stories were like, don't give him his money until the last show. Right. Like I never wanted to be one of those guys.
What do you mean? No, it's early show Saturday. I can just pay him now because I don't want to stay. He's going to leave.
Yeah. I can't imagine having a reputation like that.
Wow.
Just fucking being like, don't give this man his money because he's a piece of shit.
Because he's awful.
Yeah. He's just a fucking nut job.
Look at that guy outside. What's he doing? Or girl?
That's a older man.
Yeah, older man, right?
Yeah, with a long blonde ponytail standing on a fire escape.
He's got long shorts on.
Long shorts.
Or maybe a towel? No, those are long shorts.
Those are like like tie-dye shorts.
Oh, yeah. Tie-dye shorts. Maybe board shorts.
He's sweeping off. Oh, I think he's sweeping off his air conditioner.
Oh.
He's wearing a mask?
Is it a boy or a girl?
Is it a girl?
No, I can't tell. I think it might be a girl.
It is a lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I see the titties through the t-shirt.
Yeah, she's got like baby tits. Yeah. Those little ones, you know? Oh, what's she doing? Oh, my God. I love looking at people. She's not even doing anything.
Yeah. You just feel, this is why, you know what, this is why like the fappening and all that shit is popular.
Because people love looking in at people when they don't know.
You love the voyeurism of just being like,
yeah.
I'm just watching this person do this simple
my
task.
favorite amateur porn is when it comes around a corner, like the screen, like the camera comes around a corner and then peers back because like, oh, they might have looked, and then slowly peers out again.
That's how you know it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not supposed to be here.
That's like a stunning opening cinematic shot for you. Because you're like, ooh, a corner peep.
Yeah. If they have no sound too, even better. Or if the only sound is coming from the guy recording in the kitchen and they're in the backyard or something.
Oh, you're really into
zoom
that.
in, he'll look at it, but you don't hear them at all.
Oh man, I'm the opposite. I love production value. Oh. I like good lighting. I like
Yeah, I like good lighting too.
I like good sound where you can hear like the like that that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I never got into amateur. It's like
I used to jerk off to when you could play multi videos at once.
Yeah,
I would watch porn on mute because the guys would talk too much for a while, and then I would have another porn of just girl masturbation, and I put that on high, but I'd watch the porn on mute.
Would you sync it up? like Pink Floyd and Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
You're like, when she starts fingering herself, that's and he puts it in her ass. That's when I'm gonna sync it up.
Tear down the wall. That's the other album. Whatever.
Yeah, you have a fucking complicated system of jerking off.
Yeah, it's the whole thing.
Jump through a lot of hoops just to fucking beat off.
You watch Broad City?
Yeah.
Did you see the one where she got her roommate masturbating? It's from the first. Well, there's only been 1 year, I guess.
Yeah.
The Abby, not the hotter one.
Okay, the one with the boyfriend. Yeah.
And
I know
that guy with the beard.
Yeah.
He's like, I haven't even started to do. I haven't even started to do butt stuff yet.
Yeah, that was on when he's on the couch.
Yeah.
She walks into the living room.
Yeah.
That fucking show, man. It came out, and you're like, God, it's just great when there's good shows coming out.
Yeah.
I think it makes you feel more positive because I think we're always so like comics. We're always so pessimistic about what networks release and shit.
Yeah, it's like nothing.
Yeah.
And for a while, Comedy Central was like, that's my Bush.
Yeah.
And, whatever else.
Little Bush.
And that's, Little Bush. There was some other shows too.
But they did all that.
Come on, man.
What do you guys do?
No, they had two shows. They had That's My Bush and Little Bush.
Yeah, both of them.
Oh, my God.
Little Bush was the cartoon. That's My Bush.
Wow.
That's the W administration. Spawned two parody shows.
Wow.
But they...
Yeah, but then you see them doing something better. You're like, oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah, it's almost like down the FX route where you're like, oh, it's a little edgy. I kind of like it.
Yeah, it's really just... when it came out, I was like, it's just girl... From what I knew, was like not girl comedy.
Yeah.
It's just from some girls.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that... There's a style of comedy that's girl comedy. And you ever go to DC Improv? This girl, Melba, who works there, she used to be a door girl, and then she... a ticket girl, and then she's a manager. But she said there's something called guy comedy, which you probably know about now with being on Guy Code for so long. But I was like, what do you mean? She goes, no, there's a specific type of comedy that's not just guy comedy. It's for men. It's like only for men. The way that girl comedy is only for women.
Yeah.
And the other can appreciate it a little bit, but it's specifically for them. Jokes about the weather is not for guys or girls.
Yeah.
That's what most people do.
Well, I think there is, and I think you can even identify that in New York. And a lot of the times it's that I think guy comedy, which I always...
Maybe it's bro dude comedy.
It really is. That's what it is. Where it's like, you guys ever notice that girls like this?
Yeah.
And you guys ever notice that where it's like this...
And that's our same problem with girl comedy.
It's like a a shitty anthropologist.
Yeah.
They're like, women do this. And you're like, yeah,
No,
women
not
do.
Women. It's
Yeah.
like only black women in the Northeast.
Yeah.
Like, that's not women.
Women love doing this. Well, do they? Or
Yeah.
just do a couple do it?
Did you hear about that a long time ago?
Yeah. And I think that really, I've seen a lot of guys do that here in the city.
I want to
And I'm
stop everybody who says, whoever, they don't as much anymore, who says, like, when your girlfriend asks, do I look fat in these jeans? I want to stop them, like, tell me the time that actually happened to you.
Yeah.
Tell me the exact time. I'm going to call her. I'm going to call her and ask if she actually said it to you, because I don't believe she did.
And or the thing of like I always like, because it takes away from when people have real jokes about that.
Oh, right.
Like it really, now
Right.
someone will doubt my joke because of your shitty,
Right. Like a prison
lazy
rape joke.
writing.
Like everyone does prison rape jokes.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you don't even know anyone who knew anyone who was prison raped.
Yeah.
But if you're actually a dude who's in prison and wanted to do a prison rape joke, it's like, yeah, you shouldn't be hacky because you actually got the fucking...
You're going to be like Pryor.
Yeah.
You're going to be coming with some shit that no one's talked about before if you've been anally raped.
Yeah.
And then you're like...
Prior, more like prior asshole open. No, it wouldn't work.
it was
It's a
there.
Male. It's a
It
male.
was
It's a male.
almost there.
It's something. Yeah.
I saw you. I mean, good attempt.
Yeah, thanks.
I fucking thought you I saw you throw it up, and I was like, come on, go in.
Come on.
Go right off the back of the rim.
Yeah.
Pank. And there's that trophy for fucking best attempt at a premise.
All right, here's what we're going to talk about with you. Well, wait, are you doing that show with Big J now?
Yeah, on Sirius?
Yeah, what's it called?
Hopefully it'll be called Big J and Soder. It was called The Soder Show, but...
Yeah. Trying to drive a wedge in between you before it even starts.
Dude, it's so funny. I wish I could have taped them at the meeting where they were like, because Jay and I wanted to call it. We had what happened was we had a 6-episode run on Comedy Central Radio.
Yeah.
On Sirius. And I had a signed contract. They didn't get Jay a contract. Something happened. I think it was Sirius fucking with us. But they didn't get Jay a contract. And so they're like, we can't legally put Big J's name in the show name. And I'm like, well, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be he and I, the entire...
Yeah. Plus, what if you wanted to do that as a name, fully knowing he would never be on even one episode? Couldn't you just do that?
Yeah.
Couldn't I call my show the Ari and Soder Show?
Yeah. And then
just like, it's an inside joke?
And then be like, huh? Well, like a little
legally
wink.
allowed. They always say legally allowed. I'm like, did you ask?
Well, they hide. That's their way of hiding behind some bullshit shield.
Yeah.
And so Jay and I wanted to call it Limited Edition Radio.
Okay.
And we were going to like make a joke about it every week about how this is a limited edition thing.
Yeah.
And we thought it was great. We thought it sounded great. And then Sirius comes to me and they're like, no limited edition radio. And I'm like, well, why? And they're like, I don't know. We're just going to call it the Soder Show. And I was like, whoa. No.
Yeah.
And they're like, listen, we have to go. Like, they did the thing where they were standing in the doorway. Like, we have to go. We have to go. We're just going to call it this. I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to call it that. And they're like, no. We just have to do this. So they're like, we're going to put him as very special guest, Big J Okerson. I'm like, but he's going to be on every episode.
Yeah.
And I think they really doubted what the show was going to be.
Oh.
I think they didn't think Jay and I could do a show. I honestly believe that. Until the first episode when we recorded it, and we had a couple people in the room besides the board op and the producer.
And it went well?
And it went well, and the look they gave us of like, oh, you guys actually...
Here's what they got to do. Not Comedy Central, but anybody. When you trust somebody to go do it, then you got to step out of the way and trust them.
Get the fuck out of the
And be
way.
like, I have advice if you'd like it. I think it should be called the Soder Show because of this, but here's my reason. But obviously it's up to you. And then walk away.
TV's the same.
Yeah, I'm saying all those people.
Yeah.
They were like, they trust you to do it, but they don't trust you to actually do it.
What I love is then someone like Louis C.K. comes along and they get out of his way, and then he wins all these Emmys, and all of a sudden they're heralded as geniuses.
Well, you see what Colin Quinn said about it?
What?
When he goes like, guys, in the industry, he's doing this
Oh, I listened to the industry address.
Yeah, he was like, if you were right half the time, I could see it. But you're right like 1 out of 10 times. So just shut the fuck up and get out of here.
Yeah. It's insane. It's insane, and it's mostly...
It's like you're 9 out of 10 misses. Why do you keep throwing up?
Because that's what they do, and it's mostly ego-driven. It's mostly that they just don't want to relinquish this power that they've worked their way up to.
I don't know. I think it's the same thing we were talking before, where it's just human nature. I think they'll be like, look, I've done this a lot. This guy's never done a radio show. He doesn't know these things.
But I had done radio.
Right.
That was the frustrating part. I worked at K-Rock. I worked at KFMA in Tucson.
Where'd you work at K-Rock?
In New York. I worked at...
that K-Rock.
Yeah, not the KROQ. Not the real K-Rock.
Fake rock. No. What do they call the...
Faux rock?
K-Frock? No. What do they call that Fugazi, that's the word.
Yeah. So you
No,
call
that
it.
doesn't work in there.
No. We're going to get a word pun.
Yeah.
This is going to be the goal of this episode.
KMOQ?
Closer.
Closer, because it's like a knockoff of it.
Yeah. KMOQ. Yeah. I think KMOQ we'll have to stick with right now.
Yeah,
We'll put a
that's
pin
when
in
I'd be like, look, we got to put one in.
Yeah.
They say, okay, put this one in until I can find something better. But
we'll come back
we'll
until the last. And so we did the 6 episodes, and the response was fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Because
So then what?
it's Jay and I making each other laugh.
So now you're going to keep doing that?
Well, now we get to see how they work big business-wise,
Oh.
because now they're just stalling talks. Like, I have my manager reaching out, and they're like, well, Comedy Central is going to get back to us in a week. And I'm like, what is there to get back about?
Let's just do this show.
Either you want the show or not. And so finally I talked to Opie from Opie and Jim, and he was just like, all right, let's just put you on our channel. And so now we're like, hey, Comedy, do you want to but Jay and I want to do more than once a week.
Right.
So that's why we're letting Comedy Central be like, hey, do you have anything to
Did
say?
you tell them you have an offer from somebody else or they want you to do it?
Well, now we're going to see how that goes.
You should let them know. That's what pushes things faster sometimes.
Yeah. And I think we're waiting to have a solidified offer.
Jeff Ross, they had that where they couldn't decide if they wanted to pick up the burn or not to start with.
Yeah.
And then they were like waffling. And then he got an offer to do the Revolution show.
Yeah.
Remember Revolution?
What was that on?
All the power goes out.
Oh, yeah, with the light symbol.
Yeah,
I
J.J.
remember-
Abrams.
Yeah.
And so they wanted him to be the goofy like scientist on there. And he was like, hey, I got an offer to do this. And they're like, all right, we'll take a show. We'll take a show.
Yeah, man. It's so strange because it's like...
It's the same with chicks.
It's exactly what I was going to say. Girls are like, do you want to go out? Can I take you out to dinner? And they're like, I don't know. You're like, all right, well, I'm going to take this girl out. I'll go out with you.
Yeah.
When do you want to go out? And you're like,
Yeah.
fucking...
Well, I met same with chicks with me, where it's like if a girl doesn't seem like people are hitting on her, I'm like, nah. But then as soon as other people do, I'm like, oh, no, wait. I'm still interested.
It works both ways, though.
Yeah. Just human nature.
You want what you can't have. And that's what it fucking turns into. So hopefully Jay and I will be back on Sirius very shortly.
Oh.
And hopefully by next week.
Yeah. Hopefully you won't be on Saturday Night Live by then.
What's that?
Hopefully you won't be on Saturday Night Live by then.
Yeah, well, that didn't happen.
They only took Che and Pete Davidson?
Well, Che, I don't think was a...
He wasn't part of that thing. Yeah,
he didn't audition or anything.
Yeah, I heard the news, the Weekend Update is a completely separate thing. Separate writers, separate...
The night before I screen tested, I hung out with Che.
Yeah.
And Che's like, I'm doing Weekend Update. So he knew.
He knew, yeah.
But he's like, don't tell anybody. And that was like maybe a month before they announced it.
Oh, this is being released a month before they announced it.
What's that?
This podcast is actually going
Oh, you're
out.
going back in time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then good.
To like
well,
3
breaking
weeks at a
news.
time. Okay.
I am now incorporated with Split Cider, and I'm breaking... call me Bob Woodward, because I've got an inside source. But he came over to my house and was like, I'm going to do Weekend Update. And I was like, that's fucking crazy. And then we did the thing that ultimately, I believe, curses you from getting something.
K-rap?
Closer, but that's hip-hop.
Crap. Yeah, but I was thinking...
K-crap is...
Yeah. Okay. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
But ultimately, we did the thing where we were like, how great would it be to work together?
Yeah.
Because Che and I are good friends.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, man, if you were at SNL... And it was the night before I screen tested, so it's like, oh, dude, if you got it...
Yeah.
And then, you see how that process works out. And Pete got it, and Pete did a great job on Weekend Update.
Pete Davidson.
Yeah.
Okay. What's he going to do?
I don't know. He's a funny guy. I mean, his stand-up's...
He is a funny guy.
His stand-up's good, so, hopefully...
I'm sure
sketches?
they'll think about it. When people are like, he doesn't do characters or impressions, I'm sure they know that. I'm sure
Yeah,
he didn't say,
they're not
I
going
have
in-
40 great impressions that I just don't want to show you yet.
Yeah, they're not going in blind.
Right.
But I think Pete will
wonder
be
if
great.
Sandler had any characters or impressions going in.
I don't know.
Or if he was just a funny dude.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I know Pete will be great as like being the young guy in a sketch.
Right.
Being like the young kid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He can play like older son.
Yeah.
15-year-old.
Yeah, he'll play
Dad.
teenagers and along with like Taryn playing the dad.
Who's Taryn?
Taryn
Taryn Manning.
Taryn Killen.
Oh, who's Taryn Manning?
I don't know.
Tara Manning?
Tara Manning?
Who's it? One of the girls from The View. She had blonde hair. Who was that?
That was Hasselbeck, right?
Yeah, Elizabeth Hasselbeck. Man, she was
smoking
hot.
And her politics made me want to fuck her more.
Because she was so dumb.
So dumb.
Well, I don't know about all those facts, but have you ever thought maybe it's just not that way?
Have you ever thought maybe women...
Oh, man. And then she would always talk about, like, she'd bring it back to, like, her home life.
Yeah.
Like, I know when I'm cooking for my boys. You're like, no one cares.
Yeah.
Show some titty.
All right. Let me. No one wanted to see her tits. She was all about face.
Oh, I don't know, dude.
Really? It's like Julia Roberts.
I heard big tits are. I heard small tits are in now. So maybe I want to see them.
Yeah. Let's talk about this subject. I want to talk about this thing. When did your dad die? How old were you?
I was 14.
Oh, okay.
I was a freshman in high school when my dad died.
Okay, I don't want to talk about that then.
Okay.
I was thinking of doing it about growing up with a single parent.
I mean, I did. My dad was out of the house when I was 4.
Oh, okay.
Or 5.
Maybe we can do it then.
Yeah, my mom raised me by herself, pretty much. I had a stepdad for 3 years, but then it was all...
She had jobs all the time?
Yeah, my mom actually was pretty successful. She busted her ass. She had that old timey like Irish Catholic work ethic.
Yeah,
where it was like 70 hours a week.
Oh,
or you weren't working hard.
Right.
And I mean,
I try to complain now to people doing that editing with me. I'm like, God, I did it all day. Like, Ari, you work for 2 hours one day.
Yeah.
We all do that more than that every day.
Yeah. It's always really shitty, especially in this business when you complain to someone that does put in hours like that.
Yeah.
And you're like,
I've got to fly to Wisconsin.
And they're like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, there's some guys just trying to get a spot.
Yeah.
Can't even get up.
I want $25 on a weekend.
Yeah.
I'll take that. But yeah, my mom was, she worked in insurance. She worked for like Aetna for years, and then she went to different companies. But I was born in Hartford, and that's why I was born there, because my mom worked for Aetna, was based in Hartford.
In Hartford, Connecticut?
Yeah, it was like the insurance boom of the 80s. That's where they all were, was Hartford.
There's an insurance boom?
Yeah, like a lot of insurance companies hired a bunch of people in the 80s.
Well, that's when it took control.
Yeah, it's when it took
made
over.
Insurance horrible.
Yeah, exactly. And my mom was part of that.
You know, I just heard why the reason our car insurance is so high? Because our medical insurance is so high.
Really?
So that you have to pay enough so that if I hurt you, you're going to have to be able to pay for your hospital bills. But like in a country where they get free health care, the car insurance is nothing, because all I got to pay for is the damage to your car. The state's already covering the damage to your body. So
like in Canada, car insurance.
Way down. England, it's
really?
Like barely anything. You're only paying for maybe I'll run into a building, on the percentage chance you run into a building. Percentage chance someone else gets hurt, it's pretty high.
It's always great when people try to champion capitalism. When they're like, it's the best, it's the way the Western world moves. And you're like, actually, it's hurting a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's greed. You're letting greed run an economy.
When they get too much. You know what? I went to Oktoberfest.
Yeah, I know. I saw your picture on Instagram, and it just looked...
It was so much fun. But those beers in those giant beer steins...
Yeah.
€9.50.
That's it?
Yeah. So we're talking about $11 for 3 beers pretty much. And that's like state fair, where it should be prices of like at least $5 a piece, $6 a piece. But it's less than that because they're like, no, we're all just going to have a good time.
You go to Western Virginia to a Renaissance fair and try to buy one of those, it's probably $30.
Yeah. Or what's it called game? Like a basketball game or something? It's like, there's no way.
No way you're walking on
so
it.
expensive.
Yeah, and that's what we do. We're the king.
It's like, oh, well, they can't go anywhere else. Let's gouge them.
Yeah, we've championed gouging. No one gouges like Americans.
In Germany, they're like, no, we're all here to have a good time and celebrate. We're not... Yeah, we'll make plenty of money, and we're still going to be cool about this.
It's so funny because every question I've asked you when we've just been hanging out, like about how England was, or about how Germany, or like
China.
Yeah, China. It always, well, not as much China as you coming back from this trip. It always seems to be this like rationality behind how they act.
Oh yeah,
where they're like look at this fucking thing.
That's massive.
That is it. That is, and it's
just fill it up and see how many beers. I heard 3, but I don't know.
Dude, that's fucking great. Yeah. Hogarden?
No, that was a Hofbrau.
Hoffenbrau.
Yeah.
Yeah, it always seems like in like the European mentality.
Yeah, it's a cooler, different mentality.
It's almost I feel that way when I go up to Canada.
They also have like, it's not just about getting ahead money wise. We're also trying to live our lives.
Yeah.
So they get 5 weeks all over Europe. They get 5 weeks of vacation time that they're encouraged to take.
Jesus.
Not discouraged from taking their 2 weeks.
So you can grow with your family.
They're like, what do you mean? You worked 10 and a half months. This is what you get. You get to like go to Italy.
What's the divorce rate like over there?
Depends. I don't really know.
Okay. I'd be interested to see if that correlates. Because you're more with your family.
Yeah.
Where here you're separated, out of sight, out of mind, and then you have just texts and all these blank things that you're seeing that have no face behind it. So you're just like, my wife's fucking annoying me. And you're like, I don't know, maybe if you took a vacation to Spain.
Yeah, went somewhere fun.
Yeah, somewhere warm where you guys could fuck in a hotel.
Yeah.
And then, realize that you still love your wife.
You should do that, bro. To whoever we're talking to.
Yeah, if you're listening.
Do that.
But instead it's like you work at some Initech kind of corporation.
Yeah, for way too long. For what? To get them ahead? Is that your life goal? To get
one guy ahead.
Yeah.
One guy at the top. Who, by the way,
doesn't give a shit on you.
Oh, man.
She shits on you, believe me.
I shit on you.
Yeah. Some Russian billionaire.
I shit on you. I do not like you.
Own more of Moscow.
Yeah, fucking Putin's boys.
So when you, so your mom had some money?
Yeah, my mom did all right. We weren't rich, but we weren't poor. We were definitive. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's how we were too.
So it was like, I bought my clothes at Target until high school.
Were you allowed to buy your own clothes?
No.
Your mom had to buy them for you?
Yeah. Everything was in a budget.
At Target?
Yeah.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah. And kids knew.
Kids knew.
Kids know. Kids know that you're not wearing Jenkos, that you're wearing utility jeans.
Yeah.
Kids know.
Yeah.
And it was like, but again, it was never like, I never went to bed hungry. I had toys growing up.
Yeah.
But it was like this, it's very strange as an adult to look back on it because I almost was like always in the way because my mom's like, I'm fucking stressed out because of this job. And then, hey, kid. So I went to day camp. I went to daycare.
Oh, really?
Before and after school.
I was going to ask that. Did you come home alone?
Kid jail.
Kid jail.
I went to kid jail, Kid County.
Till how old?
6th grade.
Oh.
So until I was 11. And then I was able to come home because the bus dropped me off.
And you could do okay at your house by yourself.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't like a bad kid. I hung out with bad kids, but I wasn't really that bad.
Yeah. How old? When was this? This is like 80, 81?
I was born in 83, so this is
82, 83, 84.
So I was born in 83, so this was...
You were born in 83, yeah.
Yeah, so this was...
Mid-90s.
94.
Okay.
Mid-90s, I was home alone by myself.
Latchkey kid.
Yeah. But the other kids I hung out with were really bad.
What do you mean?
Like, they were smoking weed in 7th grade and, like...
Why? Because their parents lost track of them, or just because that's what happens? Some do it.
And there was, like, there's always, like, one older brother of a friend that pollutes the entire well. So it was, like, I remember this guy, Nick, would just give everybody weed.
Yeah, because his older brother had it?
Well, he was the older brother.
Yeah.
He was our friend. He was our friend's older brother, and he was like at an alternative high school, and he had weed and cigarettes. And so I started smoking at 13.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
Oh, DeGen.
Right? And then
smoking cigarettes.
Cigarettes. And then
13.
And then I tried weed, and then when I was 16, I started smoking full-time and smoking weed full-time. Cigarettes and weed full-time when I was 16.
Full-time. I like that.
I was part-time. I was just a casual user.
Once in a while, then you go full-time. It's like, what does that mean? It means all day.
It means I was buying packs of cigarettes like a fucking
chain smoking?
adult. Not chain, but regularly.
Your lungs could recuperate so fast, too, when you're 16.
Yeah, I mean, I just quit a year ago.
Oh, yeah? When you quit drinking?
I quit smoking cigarettes like 4 months after I quit drinking.
Oh. Wow, that's tough.
Yeah.
So when you would come home after 9, 10, 11, you just come home alone, then what would you do until your mom got home?
I would usually go hang out with those kids.
Oh.
I'd go get my bike, go to one of their houses. There was this girl
Start smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, steal cigarettes from their parents. Oh. And then we'd go, there was this girl that we were friends with, and she lived in this townhome complex by my house, and I'm pretty sure her mom was a prostitute. I'm almost positive of it now.
Yeah.
Because she was a massage therapist. But all these different guys would just come in and go upstairs and leave.
Wow.
So maybe it was a rub and tug. But
then just leave like right away?
Like they would come up and be gone in like 20 minutes.
Wow. Like
And
John Redcorn.
Yeah. And then she would let us be downstairs in the basement. This girl's room was in the basement. And we would be smoking weed and smoking cigarettes. And her mom didn't care. Her mom bought us booze.
Really?
Yeah, it was like one of those really...
Prostitutes aren't that in order.
Yeah, it was really one of those fucked up situations where even me at like 12, I was like, this is bad.
Yeah.
And like there was like fights, a lot of fights like in her front lawn. Like people would just be like, let's just go outside and fight.
Who?
Like there was different groups of kids hanging out.
Oh.
So you get these cross-pollinations where some people wouldn't like other people.
This is Hartford?
This is in Aurora. This is in Denver.
You moved?
Yeah, I moved to Denver when I was 5.
Oh.
We moved to Denver when I was 5. That's when my parents split up.
Oh, okay.
My dad moved back. He's from San Francisco, so he moved back to San Francisco. And my mom stayed in Denver because that's where her her dad's family's from. So I had a lot of cousins out there. And I would spend my summers and winters in San Francisco, and then school year I'd be in Denver.
Oh, okay.
So I had friends in San Francisco, and they were like good kids. They lived in Marin, so they were like kind of well balanced.
Marin County, yeah.
And then I would go back to Aurora, and I'd have all these kids where I was like kind of terrified of them. Because they just I remember once I just got punched in the face by one of these kids.
Why?
Because they thought, remember the ditch game where you ditch people?
No.
Where I don't know if maybe you grew up with normal people. Where you just be walking and they'd be like, hey, let's ditch someone. And then they just run away and you'd be like, all right, well, I just got ditched.
Even though you could see them, you could run with them, but you just weren't.
Or they would like wait. They'd be like, "Hey, look over there," and then you turn around, and they would run. We'd do it to different people in our group. It was never one person that always got ditched, but they did that to me. We were riding our bikes, and they're like, "Let's ditch Soder," and they left, and we were going to my house, so I knew where we were going. And we had my mom had a refrigerator in our garage with sodas in it, and they went and they were grabbing sodas out of my refrigerator, and I went in, I was like, "What the fuck?" And one kid just turned around and socked me right in the mouth, and I grabbed him by the throat and like slammed him on the ground, and my stepdad came out and was like. And I looked like the bad kid.
Right.
Because I had this kid by the throat.
Choke slamming him.
Yeah. And they were like, what are you doing? And I was like, he punched me in the face. And he's like, I came out here and I saw you with your hand around his throat.
Well, that's because you got here late, Dad.
Yeah.
I already told you.
I don't know, Nick. Maybe you should have ran out here quicker. But those kind of kids were like, so we'd go to this girl's house. And I mean, they started like, she fucked. Like, I remember a couple of my friends fucked that girl that we
daughter.
Yeah, she was like in 7th grade and we were in 8th.
And she was boning already?
She was like at there was like a couple kids in high school that were hanging out. They were bad kids.
Yeah.
It's like when I watched the movie Kids.
Yeah.
I was like,
that.
oh, this is kind of like me and my friends. Like that's like straight up
beat people up with skateboards and shit? Wow.
I saw one kid, this guy.
What?
I saw this friend of mine, Chris, we were in the park. This kid had a new Tony Hawk deck, a birdhouse deck.
Yeah.
And he just straight punched him in the face. Just punched him and took the deck and left. And I was like, oh, wow, these kids are... And that's when I started playing football, was in middle school.
Yeah.
And
kids don't give a fuck.
Yeah, these kids were bad kids. And then I got into football, and when we went to high school, that was where the divide happened, where I started hanging out with my football teammates. Because I was like, oh, my God, you guys are nice. And these kids, I cut my hair. I used to have long hair, like down to my chin.
Yeah.
And I remember I cut my hair, and I had to ride the bus back because I lived in the neighborhood with these kids. And right when I showed up at the bus stop, they're like, "Look at this faggot!" Like that's immediately where they went. And you're like, "All right, well, girls like my haircut."
Relax, man.
But it was that kind of mentality.
Who, the football players or the degens?
The degenerates were like that. The football players were nice, which is always, it's funny you hear that like football players like, and I'm sure they are. There were some
nicer than
meatheads.
the people you were hanging out with.
Yeah, they're way better than the people I was hanging out with.
What when did your mom start dating? Ew.
Immediately.
Ew.
Dude, there was so
there
many
were just dudes in town or sleeping over and stuff here or there?
Yeah. I just wake up and there'd be like guys and they'd be like, hey.
In the breakfast, like
I was always up early, so I would be like make myself a bowl of cereal, and then like this guy, hey, how you doing? And most of the time I'd met him before. My mom wouldn't let anyone just some random sleep over. But I'd meet the guy, I'd be like, hey, how you doing, Tom? And he'd be like, hey. And I'm like, all right, well, it was so fucking awkward.
Did you know what he was doing there?
Yeah, I wasn't dumb.
Yeah,
I never heard him fucking. I never saw him fucking. But you just knew. You were just like, oh yeah, you're not over here to.
Yeah.
Fix the deck.
In the morning. I think you were here last night. It's pretty obvious.
And my mom, drank a lot when I was younger. So there'd be that smell of like alcohol.
Really?
Yeah, like that morning after smell where you're just like, oh, you guys really got hammered last night.
Ugh.
And you look at the recycling bin and there's just like an empty
tons
175 of SoCo. And you're like, oh, all right, you guys fucking
pop off.
Yeah. But my mom always like bought me toys and was like, "Okay, go play in the basement
to get you out of there." Man, I feel bad for women that are like break up. They have some 6-year-old kid and they're still 32. They want to I want to have a life. I'm supposed to be dating right now.
Yeah, my mom was 35 when she had me, so she was like 40, just dating.
Oh,
yeah. Like 40 years old, 5-year-old
Ew.
kid.
Who would date a 40-year-old and with a kid?
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah.
Whenever I see on Tinder, like, I'm into this and this. I have a 7-year-old. Swipe.
Yeah. I live for my son.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watched, but I was trying to do that joke last night about, and that's true, about I wish I was raised by a mom now because she could just Tinder from the couch.
She could actually be around.
Yeah, she could be around. My mom used to fucking date out of the classifieds.
Really?
In the newspaper. Yeah, it was Craigslist before Craigslist. There was no Match.com. There was the newspaper where you could highlight dates.
That's unsettling. The idea of your parents dating. Just being normal people in
Are your
dating.
parents married?
Yeah, they've stayed married.
Yeah, so it's a different world.
Yeah.
Jay and I always talk about it, but
I
there's
remember
a
when
lot.
Jay was telling me about his mom like going on some date. I'm like, ew.
There's a lot of similarities. Like Jay and I relate on that because you're like and especially Jay was an only child, and so was I. So you're kind of like, it's weird because you almost have this like adult mentality from the time you're 7.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh, I'm a tiny adult. I know what's happening. Like I knew how to get things. I knew how to be.
Could you cook for yourself? Do you know how?
No. My mom always was very good about that. My mom was always like, made sure I ate, made sure that there was food, whether the babysitter had to warm it up.
Oh, so you had babysitters when you got home from school?
I mean, no. I would go to daycare after school until.
But then that stopped. The 6th grade is stopped.
Yeah, and then I was just home by myself. And then my mom would get home at 5:30, 6, have a couple drinks, make dinner. We'd have dinner, and then I would do my homework and go play. Or
did you ever fuck in that room in the house before she got home?
Yeah, I was getting my when I was in high school. I was getting my dick sucked by this one of the hottest girls. I was just friends with her, and she was just like, yeah. And we started fucking.
Did she come over and blow you?
It only happened once.
Oh,
it happened twice.
You were getting your dick sucked.
I was getting blown in my, and then the fucking garage. I heard, I'm like,
hurry, go faster.
I was like, go upstairs I was like, go up to my room. And I threw on clothes. My mom was there, and I did the thing where you're clearly guilty, and I was just like,
hi, Mom.
Rapidly firing things.
Yeah.
Hey, Mom, Jenny's over. We were just doing homework, and she went upstairs to use the bathroom. So she'll be, and she's like, why didn't she use the bathroom right here? And I'm like, she didn't want to use the bathroom around me, and my mom's like, I think Jenny needs to go home. And I was like, you bitch. I ain't stop you from getting a nut. Why are you stopping me from getting one?
Yeah. Why didn't you use the bathroom down here? Like, damn it, I didn't think it all out.
Yeah.
Because I'm not that smart.
You should see her naked. I was a little busy.
Wow. How old were you? 15?
I was 15.
How old was she?
16. It was awesome. It was fucking awesome.
Do you know where she is now?
Married, got like 4 kids.
Do you know her name?
Yeah. But I don't think she looks good anymore.
I know. I want to see it.
Yeah. I'll log in and I'll show you.
Oh, you have on your...
Yeah. She's on...
I won't say her last name.
Oh, bubble wrap. Yeah, I'll show you. She used... I mean, her body was insane.
Really? I love looking at people now and be like, what happened?
Yeah.
And you're like, 27 years happened.
Yeah, you're like...
That's what happened.
It was one of those things where I jerk off to the thought of like, oh man, I should have really like pursued a sexual relationship with this girl. You know what's funny is when you're younger, you're always like, oh, I don't want to date them.
You don't
because then I'm going to get married to them.
Right.
And then you're like older and you're like, I could have dated her for like 2 months.
Yeah.
And
you could date her for 5 years.
Yeah. And it wouldn't have mattered.
It wouldn't have mattered. But in your short time of dating life, you're like, well, I guess.
And you're like, no, but this is a small, that would be my only, if anyone's
not going to go anywhere. Like,
if anyone's listening, if you're a younger guy listening, just date, man.
Yeah.
Just date and then.
Okay, let's see what kids did to her. Wow, she looks like a mom.
Yeah.
That is a mother face and body. Just that's a mom.
Yeah. Total mom.
Oh, yeah.
But you can't, I wish, there's like, you can kind of see.
Somewhat young. Oh, yeah, she doesn't look terrible there.
Yeah.
They should have, every girl should have over like 35 should have this is what I used to look like album.
Oh my God, look how much of a mom she looks like.
God, holding 2 kids.
Oh,
we're wearing our Broncos stuff.
Got Broncos fever.
Go Bronco Nation.
oh, fuck. Yeah. And then you just
My
think.
kids cannot get enough.
Yeah.
Broncos.
You know who my kids love? They just love Peyton Manning.
And you're like, yeah, I titty fucked you on my mom's love seat.
It's so hard to like reevaluate. Like, okay, I guess I'll treat you now like an adult or something.
Yeah.
I don't.
Why? Because another human came out of your pussy. I
Let's
gotta,
pretend
Yeah.
our relationship wasn't completely sexual when it was.
but like we were talking about at the beginning, that's human nature because that's what it was with like my mom.
Yeah.
My mom was some guy that's like, I used to fuck Trish. And then they look it up
well-
and like, oh, look at her.
Oh,
And you're like, oh, come on.
3 fingers pointing back at me. Oh.
Yeah. It's, it was one of those things, man, where you just like, I think you just get it. You just get used to it because you're like, my mom needs a life.
Yeah.
And then she got like, it sucked when
Did
she
she ever
got
get beat up or anything, or fucking dumped?
She got dumped, which is always rough.
Yeah, she'd be moody and
Oh my
sad.
God, just take it out on me. And I'm like, hey, lady, I'm here still. So can we not?
Oh.
But what was worse was when she'd get a boyfriend that she liked that I didn't like. That was always the worst.
You really had no say in it, did you?
Yeah. And then you'd be honest and you'd be like, I don't like him. And she'd be like, well, he makes me happy. And you're like, well, all right, there we go.
Well,
That's
I
when you
guess
first
that's the
learn
line.
about bureaucracy, I think, is you're like, so you're just not going to do anything. I'm like, no.
But I've voiced my complaints that I don't like this person.
Yeah. That's why I've always thought the statement, the customer is always right, is flawed. Because when you're an only child raised by a single mom, the customer is never right. Because you're the customer and they
Never
tell you what to buy.
Oh, yeah. You get no say.
No say whatsoever.
God, the service
It's terrible.
in England was awful. There's no reason for them to help you. They're getting paid a certain amount regardless.
Yeah.
And especially in the tourist areas, they're like, and you're never going to be back here. So there's literally zero repercussions for me taking my time to get this.
I'm going to go take a nap
Yeah.
and then think about asking you if you want something to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the trade-off, though. You have all these
Yeah, I
polite
guess.
audiences in these this healthcare system that works,
Right.
but your
people-
waiters
bad
stink,
service. Yeah.
which I'll take any day.
Hello. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
Like you're asking for more than normal people do.
Why? Yeah, especially
It's not
Americans.
really a service industry anymore. It's almost like if you're at Kmart and you might get someone to, but if you want to ask 75 questions about something, they're going to be like, look, I got other work to do.
I wonder if they are more annoyed with American tourists because we're used to that,
People waiting on us.
waiting. Exactly.
They do like that we tip because there are people who do not.
Yeah. Well, I always used to, when I waited tables, I'd always, whenever I had a table that was British, I would always do this fake bullshit way of asking for tips where I'd be like, you know what's crazy, man? Is, God, I wish I waited tables over there because they get salary. We don't get salary here.
That's a way of saying it.
Yeah, fucking tip me. And then they'd be like, oh, all right, spot on.
That's funny. That's funny. Just force them to.
Yeah.
It's customary to open your wallet. I'll show you what's customary.
Yeah. What do you got, a 20? Yeah, I'll take that.
How do you think you were hurt overall by only having one parent raise you?
Man, it's the amount of insecurity that I have.
What do you mean?
I can tell who's had a dad
Why? How?
because they just have this basic confidence that you don't have that if you didn't have a dad.
Weird.
It's like it's apparent. It's just very obvious that you're like, oh, you have a dad. Just simple
Most people
things.
have dads, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's why you can meet people who don't, and you're like, okay, cool.
Right.
Like when Jay and I first started hanging out, I was like, oh, you don't have a dad.
Right.
And he was like, nah. And you're like, yeah. Because you just
Why?
have this incessant need for people to tell you everything's going to be okay.
Because you didn't get it enough?
You didn't get it at all.
Someone telling you it's going to be okay.
And that you're doing a good job.
Because no one told you you're doing a good job.
No.
Is that why your fly's down, do you think?
No, fuck you. It's barely down.
All I saw was the opening
Motherfucker.
part.
It's just at the top.
Yeah,
I'll
okay.
relax. I know I got my dick hanging out. If I had a dad, he would have taught me how to zip my fly.
Yeah. How'd you do for sports and stuff? I mean, I guess dads don't really teach their kids how to throw balls anymore. That's just something you learn with your friends, right?
I think, but I also this is the only example I really have is like I said, I'm terrible at basketball. But when I'd spend summers with my dad, he'd be like, let's go play basketball. My dad was kind of a taller guy. So
Yeah.
we'd go play basketball, and then other little kids would be there. He'd be like, play with them. And I'd be like, I'm not good. And he'd be like, I'll just yell what you need to do. And he'd be like, put your hands up. And yell stuff like that. Like, hands up, move your feet. And I'd move my feet. And
Start
then
to
I'd
shuffle.
block a shot. And I'd be like, what? And he'd be like, yeah, see? And
Wow.
then I wouldn't see him again for 3 years.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
I'd come back and be like, should I move my feet? And he's like, oh, I don't care anymore.
Oh, that's something we don't. I don't
Oh,
think
we're
about
past that. I've moved on to the the apathetic part of my alcoholism.
Yeah. So you think you're less secure because of that?
Yeah, 100%. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind. Like that whole like.
Is it hard to get chicks because of that?
No, because I was raised by a woman.
Oh, right.
So I know how to talk to women. I know how to talk to women like equals, as opposed to being like, "Hey, I want to fuck you." Like you're like, "Hey, you're a person."
Right.
And I know I was raised only by women. It was my grandma, my
brothers.
mom, and my sister.
Oh.
But my sister was my half sister, and she was 12 years older.
From your dad?
Yeah. So when she came into my life, I was like 9 or 10.
Who came into your life?
My sister. My mom was like, your sister needs to be in your life.
Oh.
My mom and my sister got along very well. So my mom would fly my sister out, and then she would come and.
But she wasn't your mom's daughter?
No.
Yeah. Wait, was I just going to ask you?
But basically, I was raised by women.
Yeah. Oh, I know what I was going to say. They said in Denmark the women are so equal that like if you act like any other way, they'd get like weird and angry. Like if you try to buy them a drink, they're like, "What are you talking about?" Like all of that is just out the window. It's all 100% equal.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
It's like no, but that's how you show your interest. They go, not there. It's not how you show your interest
Yeah.
there.
I wonder if I'd clean up in Denmark.
I don't know.
If I'd just be like, "Hey, how are you?" And they're like, "Oh," or if it's just normal. Because I think American women are like, "What?"
Yeah.
When you're like talking to them, like, "Hey, just going to talk to you."
Yeah. I wonder if they would. They're so hot in Denmark.
Are they?
Yeah.
I've heard
that
Scandinavian.
Nordic, Scandinavian look.
Giannis, that's all he rants about.
Giannis is Greek though, isn't he?
Yeah, but he did shows in Sweden, in Norway, and he came back and he's like, the women there.
The features. It's just like even if you're kind of grody, still straight blonde hair.
Grody. I haven't heard grody in so fucking long.
Grody.
Yeah. If they are grody. I mean, there's a great website called Swedish Tinder.
Really?
Yeah, and it just shows you all of the crazy hot girls that are on Tinder there.
Really?
Yeah. To the point where I was like, I love my girlfriend, but if we did a 3-month sabbatical, I would go to Sweden and get on Tinder because they love American men too.
They do?
Yeah, they really do.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
Right?
Yeah.
Look at some of those. Jesus.
Emma, 27.
Oh,
Wow. Emmy, 20. Oh, she's so hot. And they all drink at like,
yeah.
oh my God. Gorgeous. Frida, 23.
Look at that.
Oh my Lord.
Oh.
God, these are all just regular girls hanging out.
Yeah.
Get out of here, you 8. Wow.
Every one of these girls would be, if you worked at an office, they'd be the hottest girl at the office.
32. Oh yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Be regional
Look
vice
at that one.
president. Wow.
And they all have that like balanced diet of like fish and vegetables. So they're all their
Great
body.
joint health.
Yeah. Oh, look at the one on the left.
Yeah, the one on the left is pretty. Yeah. Anyway, I should stop doing this. There's a thing called J-Swipe now.
I was at the J date. That's what I love about the Jews, man. You guys get right back on the dating
They're like,
sites.
let's push ourselves separate again.
Yeah.
I'm sure this didn't turn out badly ever in history. Let's be separatists one more time.
Why not? I want my son to find a nice girl.
Yeah. All right, I gotta stop that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's whatever. But my friend was on a J date a long time ago, and she said she's not a Jew, and I was like, well, how do you get dates? She goes, because there's Jewish guys on there who love non-Jewish looking girls.
Why is that a thing? As a non-Jew, as a goy,
Yeah.
I've always wondered the shicks. Was Elaine
Shicks-
called it shicks appeal?
Who says that?
It was on Seinfeld.
Yeah,
Elaine
Shicks
said
appeal.
she had
Shicks
shicks appeal.
Yeah. Well, they're just hotter. I mean, Jewish girls are kind of gross.
I love Jewish girls. Big titties.
They do have big boobs.
I love the big titty kind of
You got to get them at 25 or below, though.
natural, good looking.
Glow. And also the best hair care products.
Best hair care products.
They always buy like a Veda and stuff.
so
they're
worried.
looking as good as they could look.
Yeah.
The way Batman is like he doesn't have any special powers, but
Yeah.
he's just the best health he can be in.
Yeah, he's trained in,
Jewish with the actual makeup they can afford.
and a lot of Jewish girls have been in amazing at oral sex.
See, that's the stereotypes the opposite way. They don't swallow.
Well, they don't swallow, but getting you there
Oh, really?
is, yeah.
They don't swallow because daddy taught them they were a princess. If one thing princesses don't do is swallow semen.
Take mouthfuls of cum to
Yeah.
the gut.
That is not a ladylike.
Yeah, but they, every Jewish girl I've ever dated or been with, it's always like impressive blowjobs.
Really?
Really, like, wow. There was
Work ethic.
I was going to say that because the best blowjob I've ever got was this girl that I met, and she was like Irish, but she was cute. She was like half something else.
Irish, but she was cute.
Yeah, she was like, and she was tiny, and before she gave me a blowjob, she had a necklace on.
Yeah.
And she like threw it behind her back.
Oh.
Which was the equivalent of her like rolling up her sleeves.
Yeah.
And then she just went to work, and I was like, Jesus! Like she did it so like union worker matter of factly.
Wow.
Like, let me take a look. What's going on down here? And then threw it behind her neck. It just sucked. Like, I was like, that was insane. Yeah.
Hey, how do you think we were better off by not having a dad around?
Like I said, I think I treat women better. Mm-hmm. I think I'm much more aware of women's feelings.
Yeah.
Because I've watched my mom get crushed by multiple boyfriends.
That must have been hard. Her coming home just crying.
Oh, man. Well, it always was like, I think what made it worse was she was always like, I'm just trying to give you a good life.
So, like, you're hurt because of me?
Yeah. I'm like, bitch, don't put that on me.
Yeah.
And plus, I'm a half Irish. She's Irish, so she's like, loves that guilt thing.
Yeah.
Where she's just like, I'm trying to give you a better life. And
Oh,
you're
really?
Like, oh, fuck.
That's lame. Plus,
Yeah.
you're not old enough to really know the difference.
That's what fucked me up.
Yeah.
But it definitely did make me more aware of women's feelings. It definitely did make me, I think, but you know, it's good and bad. Like, it's
See, when I was a latchkey kid for a while, and I'd say like I developed the ability to like cook things for myself, make spaghetti or fucking sandwich or something. Just like I can do that for myself because I didn't have to wait for someone to do it for me. I know how to do the laundry.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm amazing at being alone.
Really?
I'm really good at being alone.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm alone, I'm okay. When I go on the road, people are like, isn't it lonely? I'm like, I actually kind of enjoy it sometimes.
Yeah, I get to read, check my internet, and walk around.
Oh, going to Canada on the road? You're like, my phone doesn't work. Everyone leave me alone.
It's pretty great.
And then you're just in.
So, dude, I'm so much closer to going no data plan now.
We talked about this.
I know.
We talked about this at a tell show at the Underground.
Yeah. So I have to do some more edits for this thing, but I think in the middle of next month, the 19th of next month,
Cutting data.
yeah, because that's when the new cycle comes. That I'm just going to be done.
Okay. I think
Because I should be done with all the stuff that they need me right today on. And
I want to eliminate.
It was fun in England and Denmark. It was like, oh, once I walk out, that's it. I was coming home once in England, a long walk home, and I was like, I think I turned left on this street, and then my battery died, and I was like, let's just keep walking. Let's just see if I can do it
Yeah.
without this.
You forget that you have a brain.
Yeah.
That's very powerful.
Figured out New York before there was cell phones.
Yeah.
How, you know.
It's I'm almost with you because my one thing is like emails,
Robs my time. Yeah, you got to check your emails, right?
but then I'm thinking about like, what if I just do Wi-Fi?
Yeah.
We talked about that.
Occasionally, you have to. If you have to do something, I'll stop by at Starbucks. I'll just quickly check and make sure
Yeah.
I send all the stuff and then go. But like, you can always be out of touch for 2-3 hours, right? Not always, but most of the time.
My
Or if
thought
you
was-
can't, be at home for that time.
You know, when people go on, when you email people and they're on vacation and they have that email that bounces back that's like, hey, I'm out of town, so
Yeah.
and so. I think
Have one said, just so you know, I only check it at night.
just let you know, I don't have a cell phone capable of carrying email anymore. I will check this when I get home.
Yeah.
I will email you when I get home.
Yeah, to let people know, like, don't wait for this. If you
Yeah.
got to get me, text me right now
Or call me.
Call me, yeah.
If you need to reach me, like give your manager's number or something,
Or just say, call me if you need to reach me right now.
because you don't want your number
want
going
everybody
to
who emails
everybody.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you could be like, if this is an emergency, please call this
Yeah,
office.
that's a good way to go. And some people say, well, won't it be harder without like GPS or stuff like that on the road? I'm like, yes, it will be. That'll be harder.
Yeah, guess what? I'll buy a map.
But the rest of it's a lot easier.
Everything. The stress level.
Yeah, having to check it. They had this thing, the GW Health Center.
Yeah.
Had these billboards on the metro for a while. It was different health tips. And they were like, leave one bite left on your plate. And they showed you like how much food that would be over a week, 3 meals. And it was just a pile of food that you're not eating.
Jesus.
Yeah. And then another one was like switch from like mayo to mustard on your bagel. It saves like this 40,000 calories a week.
Fucking
Something
A.
like crazy. But then one of them was take your watch off one day a week. Just don't have your watch because you're always like, oh, this is pre-cell phones, but you're always like aware of the time and being rushed. Just take it off to relieve stress.
And something I learned was the do not disturb mode on my cell phone.
Oh, yeah.
And I just have it on do not disturb all the time.
So it was right to voicemail, right to...
Everything, unless you're my favorites.
Oh.
So I put my manager and my agent on my favorites and my
Everyone
my
else
friends.
just can't disturb you.
My girlfriend can call me.
Yeah.
So I know if it's ringing, it's someone important.
Oh.
And then I can check it and be like, oh, this person called, I'll get back to him.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. And then I don't, everything else is nullified. It took my stress down because I'm one of those people that when I get like 4 texts in a row, I get angry. Like I'm like, stop fucking texting me.
Right.
But if it's on Do Not Disturb and I check and there's 4 texts, I'm like, oh, okay, what is it? And I can just read everything.
Yeah.
That's the way. I mean, if I were, I know me. I'm weak minded. I'll probably stick with the data plan.
Yeah.
But the Do Not Disturb app is where
it's at.
Yeah.
Would you I did that at night like 3 times ever, but I just did it this weekend. Would you raise a kid alone? I mean, I guess you've had no choice, but like
if I did, I mean, obviously,
how would you do it? I guess maybe
if I did it, I would make sure I was around family that kid could be around,
like a grandparent,
yeah, exactly, a cousin, other little kids, you know, which my mom did a pretty good job of. I spent a lot of time. I had cousins that were my same age, and I spent a lot of time around them when I was younger.
Yeah,
but if it's an only child and you're a single parent, I think the one thing I would strive is to let that kid know that they're special. Like you're a good kid.
Instead of worrying about work all the time.
Yes, as opposed to being worried about finances.
Yeah, because you only have half the parents nurturing you.
Yeah, so that's why when you say what's the takeaway, that's why when you're like not having a dad, I didn't have anybody to be like, hey, good job, man.
Right.
Like you're really doing this. Like I just learned now. At 31, if I'm not good at something, that I can learn how to do it and get better at it.
Right, you don't just be like, no, I'm not good at that.
Which is what I did as a kid. Like baseball, I was just like, okay, I guess I'm not good at it. Basketball, I'm just not. Football,
and like, oh, I wish I had started trying at 7. I would have been a lot better by now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Basketball, I would have been good at, probably. Because I'm decent athletically. Yeah. Football, I probably would have been a lot better if I had someone being like, hey, good job. This is where you're going.
Right.
As opposed to just being like, well, how much natural skill do I have? Which is interesting because comedy was the first thing I ever did in my life where I was like just naturally good at it. And then I saw that I could grow at it.
Then you could work and be better.
And that was like, oh, fuck. All right. Now I can spend my time doing this.
Yeah.
And I think it made me, love comedy more because it was the first thing that I saw.
That you can actually put your head to?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I lost my...
Still thinking about a K-Rock? Still thinking about a K-Rock pun? Because I got nothing.
Yeah.
K-Rock?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the one we put the pin in?
KMOQ?
KMOQ. I think we're going to have to go with that.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have to go with KMOQ. I don't think we're moving anywhere else.
Do you like New York?
Love it, man.
This is nice weather, briskness of the
My question is, I mean, I know I'm here for good. Do you like it?
I like it a lot.
Do you like the scene? Do you like living here? Do you like the
I'm still making friends,
Do you miss LA?
Oh, of course I do.
But like enough to be like, I got to go back there.
No, but I'm going to go back in the winter.
Yeah, you and Louis Katz, man.
It's great. It's a great move.
I fucking love it. You both are like...
And all these people are like, oh, you're pussy, you can't handle the winter. I'm like,
get it.
Go fuck yourself. Enjoy freezing, asshole. And just say I'm a pussy. Yeah, that's not sour grapes.
There's a part of me that likes snowy weather because it is an excuse to stay inside and
sure. On those days, it's great. But then the next day when it's all slushy, and you're like, now what am I going to do?
Oh, it's the worst.
Blacks and the lush.
Going to a spot.
Metzger said he saw 2 feet sticking out of a snowbank once.
That's hilarious.
He said he saw it for like 2 days.
That's
like nobody called 311.
Yeah, but Metzger lives in fucking
in Harlem.
He lives higher up.
Really?
Yeah, he lives in like Washington Heights, I think.
Oh yeah, past Harlem.
Yeah, he lives past Harlem. He lives
where it's not even black anymore. It's worse.
It's a different thing that we don't even know.
Yeah, it's like when the Transformers always had battles with the Earthlings. And all of a sudden that third crew came, and you're like, wait, who's that?
We didn't know these people. These were a thing. Yeah. It's but there is some fun shit about snow. Like Luis Gomez and I were getting high.
Yeah.
On this street in the West Village, and there was a puddle that looked like it was concrete. And it was like just an icy puddle. People kept stepping in it, so we just sat there getting high watching people. And it was it was the best. And one guy got so mad because we were laughing so hard because he got shin deep.
Oh, no.
And it was cold water, and he didn't have snow boots on.
Oh.
And we were like, ah! And he just looked over, and Lewis is like, "What do you want to do, pussy?"
He's ready to fight you.
Yeah,
you're like, all right, man, relax. I'm just angry.
Yeah, I got fucking snow in my sock.
You want to get stabbed over this? You're like, no. Oh my God. Why didn't you just tell me there was?
Yeah, so it's like, I mean, I get why you go to LA. I like the snowy weather. I live on like a busy street in Queens, so I'll turn off all my lights and roll a joint and put on like good music and just look out the window, watch people walk by in the snow,
really?
getting high, and
Wow.
And it's just super like kind of like
It's fun to just watch people.
Yeah,
John
yeah.
Reed told me he did this once, but he was in North Carolina, in like Hickory or some small town in North Carolina, where they just shit into a coffee mug and they put it on top of a gas dispenser, whatever those things are called, gas, whatever they are. And then they just
gas pump.
Yeah, gas pump. And they just stood across the street and just watched and laughed. I think they might have drank or a little while they were, but it was like people just like look around, like, what's that smell?
Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah,
Shit like that, man. Like people watching in New York is the best. You just see fucking insane people on a daily basis.
That part is pretty fun.
And I think the thing that one of the reasons I never could live in LA is I like being around people. Even though I said I can be alone and I'm good at being alone, I enjoy the fact that people are around me in New York.
Yeah.
That like I get on the subway.
You're around humans.
You're around humans, and sometimes you have interactions that you never would have had if I was in a car.
Dude, I just got a girl's number right now on the way over here.
Yeah.
Remember that half black, half white girl from the crowd last night? She was sitting
She was sitting right in the back row.
Yeah. I just passed her. She goes, I saw your show last night. I was like, oh, cool. And then we talked for 2 minutes. Like, you want to hang out?
She's hot.
Yeah, I haven't done that. Just get a number on the street in a while.
See?
Yeah,
That's
just
what
by
New York
walking,
is.
just by being around.
In New York, the great part is you just bump into people that you might not have seen in years.
Bumped into Christine before.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I see her.
Well,
but
you and Jay live in the same neighborhood, but it's like...
But you're right. All of a sudden, you're like, oh, hey.
Yeah. And then you're like, you want to hang out?
Yeah.
And what are you doing?
What are you doing? Let's go.
In LA...
There is a lot more like, let's go hang out right now for like an hour and a half. You don't have to commit your whole, like, just come over, hang out for an hour, and then leave.
Or like even like I was texting with Jay on the way over here, and he's like, when you and Ari are done, just come over.
Yeah.
And we'll just
Same
hang out.
neighborhood.
And you're like, oh yeah. And then I can just go home on the subway, read my book, and then go do a show.
Yeah.
And but listen, I think LA is great. There are a lot of great things about LA, like weather-wise and stuff, but
Yeah.
I just don't ever see myself being able to live there.
Yeah, put this up a little bit.
All right.
Yeah, it's pretty fun to live in. It's all, most of it comes down to friends, though.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what, even your college, like, whatever you go to, it's like, oh, this place sucks. Like, no, you didn't make good friends. That's all.
Well, and, Nate Bargatze lives out in L.A.
Sort of.
It's kind of. Jay had the funniest line. He goes, take it to Nate to find the Woodhaven of Queens of L.A.
Yeah.
Because even when he lived in New York, he lived out in fucking
Way out.
bumfuck
Yeah, he lives in, like,
Queens.
Tarzana or something.
Well, now he lives in Carson.
Oh, Jesus. What are you doing? That's where like, casinos are.
Yeah.
Like,
But that's what Nate is. Nate's like, Nate, it's great.
why would I pay more?
Yeah, I love it. And I'm like, do you? You love it? You love it
You're
more
just
than
saying
Silver
that.
Lake or Los Feliz or whatever?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, it's rad here, man. I like it a lot. I'm not here enough, though. I just started getting settled like a month ago.
And once you give it like a year,
Mm-hmm.
and you find out like once you know how to get a lot of spots in certain nights.
And I don't have to go like look at my map every time. Like, I know how to get to stand up New York on the subway. I just
it's
run,
great.
go, do it.
It takes 6 months.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I could take this train to this train and then bounce
Yeah.
over to here and then maybe a cab if I need to make the time.
Yeah.
And there's always
The bikes too. You really learn the city better.
the city bikes.
Yeah.
Everything, man. There's a lot of
Yeah, I like it here. I don't know about permanence, but like for now, it's like pretty fun doing spots.
Yeah.
Especially after I do my special. That's when it's like when you're building new material.
well, I think what's going to be interesting for you is to come work out here.
Yeah.
Because there's so much more stage time.
Yeah.
When you go back to LA, people are going to be like, "What the fuck?"
Oh yeah.
Like
Well, that's why I saw Louis Katz. The same thing. I was like, hey
Yeah.
man, what happened to you? He was like, you commit to this or something?
Yeah,
What-
yeah.
What's going on?
You're like, I live in New York, and you're like,
Yeah, you just take more stage time.
and you don't even realize here because it's like crowds that we were on last night where you're like, it was an okay set,
Yeah, I was like there.
but then
But it just made you kind of talk.
yeah, but then you go and you do like a real set in front of a big crowd, and you're like, oh shit, that
Yeah.
new bit really works.
And you had that conversational style.
Yeah.
Because you develop in rooms of 15 or 18. So you're
Yeah.
like, I have to talk. I can't. So like, I was at the store today. You
Yeah,
ever
like,
notice?
that's exactly what I said last night on stage. I'm not going to act like you guys are in an arena.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
fucking 20 people. I'm going to
Yeah.
talk to you like humans.
Yeah.
Yeah. But It's great. I fucking love it.
That's how the store is too, though. Late nights at the store. That's how all those guys develop that conversational style. Same thing, where it's like you can't.
Yeah. It's great. I think it's good for comedy to develop that style.
Yeah. Whatever.
No.
I don't know. I didn't have enough questions for you about having a single parent.
I mean, I think we touched on most of it.
Touched. Yeah. Well, all right. That's fine. Should we keep going?
Let's go get high and watch
Let's go get
people.
high, yeah. All right, and watch people. It's fun to take your shirt off here and get high because then
but
nobody
you're so-
bothers you.
Yeah, because they think you're crazy.
Sure, but I'm not, so it doesn't matter. And it's not like I see friends. I can just stare at people and they don't look back at me, so I can really observe them.
Yeah.
You know,
that is the one
more
thing.
invisible.
I tried saying that about LA. You're a lot lonelier even when you're around people.
Yeah,
Because in New York, I don't know, there's this like weird thing where you don't feel...
yeah. You stay in your car and then back to whatever, and it's like you don't really see them. But here, there was an aggressive loneliness from moving here that I found, where it's like there's so many people that aren't talking to me.
Yeah, but I feel like you'd have that moving anywhere.
Yeah, maybe. But there's just so many of them that are like, you know, if I moved to Alaska, I'd be like, yeah, I'm lonely, but like, I'm not missing many opportunities.
I kind of like it because you just kind of float around.
Once I got here for a while, though, I remember last year you ever stay inside your apartment like all day long?
Yeah.
And then get sort of like a little feeling of depression?
Yeah.
You're like, oh. And like, I could take it all the way. It's like 10:30 at night. I could take it all the way to the next morning. It's like, I feel gross just on the inside. But then I've had occasion I was like, now I had to go out for a spot. Let's say an 11:30 spot is my first one.
Yeah.
And once I start seeing people, my mood just lightens, you know?
My best trick is being buddies with the bodega owner on my corner.
So you can go talk to him.
So I can go talk to him.
Shoot the shit.
Just go get a water. And he'll be like, hey, man, how are you? I'm like, good, how you doing? And it's not bullshit talk.
Right.
It's an honest conversation, but it's not invasive.
Right.
It's not personal.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, he's like, how's work? And you're like, it's good, man. How you doing? You just start your shift? He's like, 12 hours. And you're like, fuck, it's crazy. Those kids still stealing shit? And he's like, they don't come in the winter.
Yeah, talk about a little something.
Yeah, you just talk about what's going on in the
do
neighborhood.
that.
There's a very neighborhood feel about it.
My cousin, I went to eat with him and his wife. The waiter at this Indian place was like, "How are you doing?" I was like, "Good." They go there sometimes. And like, "How's your kid? Is he still? How is he in football this year? Is he starting?" Or he's like, "Oh, he's doing pretty well." But it's like they know enough about him. They're not like filling time with the conversation.
Yeah.
They're actually like, "Yeah, our kid's in soccer too. How's your kid doing?"
Yeah.
Oh, don't they have that problem with like? And they actually do want to talk to him for a while. And now wait on me.
It's great. I saw a guy. This is what I love about New York. My ex-girlfriend used to live on 15th and 3rd, and there was a street food vendor guy that I used to get real drunk, and I'd talk to him forever. He was a Vietnamese guy, was training to be a taxi driver, but he was working at this food cart, and I used to get drunk, and I'd over-tip him. I'm like, you're the best. And I was on the subway. I mean, we're talking 6 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm on the subway, and I'm sitting there just like spacing out, looking at the ground, and I look up, and this guy and I make eye contact, and I'm like, holy shit. And he's like, hey, man. And I'm like, how? And it was the food.
Wow.
And I'm like, and he's like, I'm a cab driver. He's like, I live in Queens. I got my cab. He's like, I was going in now to do something. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck? It was just so like, oh, well, good for you, man.
Yeah.
And that kind of like, small world. Well,
But then would you ever take it to the place of like, hey, we're going to a movie called The Bodega Guy. See if he wants to come with us. No way.
That's a New York friendship.
Yeah.
It's everything's a purpose. You're like,
You know Carmen Esposito?
yeah.
So I was walking down like First Avenue or something. I think she was going to UCB and I was going to the stand, UCB. So it's like, she doesn't live here.
Yeah.
So we passed by and I was like, oh, hey. And like, neither one of us really stopped. We just turned. And, like, maybe said hi, thumbs up. Like, we both had to go. It was like, oh, I see you.
That's the best. Or when you're transferring trains.
Yeah.
And someone's like, where are you going? You're like, stand up New York. Then I'm going to be at the Cellar. Like, I'll see Norman. And they're like, I'll come by the Cellar. I'm going to be at UCB. And they'll come by. And you're like,
yeah,
that's great.
There's multiple places where you know some comics will be. That's the best thing about the Cellar. Because late at night, everything else is closed. Santa's closed. Stand Up New York's closed. You're like, oh, I'll go by the Cellar. Maybe someone will be there.
And someone
Probably
always
somebody.
will be.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's an unbelievable group for a hang.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh,
like you, Norman, and Hanley at the back table.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay.
And you walk in and it's like, first off, you can get good food.
Yeah, you can't get food if
You
you
know, you
want.
can smoke weed without having your balls busted.
Yeah.
Right in the West Village.
Smoke spot.
There's a smoke spot. And then there's like, back when I used to drink, it was the best. Because I'd be like, let's go have a couple beers at the Cellar. And then you're just like, and then there'd be girls that might have like seen you from a, because there's like a lot of girls that
come a lot.
Yeah,
and
they're like,
is.
I saw you 2 weeks ago. You murdered, and you're like,
I've noticed that.
Thank you.
Yeah, my friend Kareem when Dublin's was like the hottest room in LA.
Yeah.
Just a Tuesday night bar show, but it was people were there with, if you killed, you would get busy, like industry to give you cards. Like
Is that Jay Davis's show?
Mm-hmm. Jay and Ahmed.
Yeah.
So Dan Cook really got big.
Yeah, I've heard stories about Dublin's.
But Kareem said if he would go and kill, he wouldn't want to get up for another 6 weeks, but he would go every week because he could still score the residual puss.
That's so nuts.
But if he did bad, he goes, get me on again as soon as you can, because I can't come really until I get rid of that.
Yeah. That's kind of like Whiplash was like that for a little bit.
Really?
Because everyone goes to Molly Wee's.
Oh yeah, right afterwards.
Right after it.
I don't know. Last time I went, like no one went to that.
Yeah, I think it's changed because like when I first started,
packed the first time I went.
When I went to Whiplash, when I first started doing Whiplash like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was drinking, and you'd like have a fucking killer set, and then like Louis would drop in, and then everyone would be all geeked up.
Validate you. Yeah, mine was Zach dropped in.
Yeah.
So then it was the same thing. Maybe it was just because of that.
Yeah, and then you like go to Molly Wee's, and they're like, you were so funny. And in their head, they're like, and you worked with Louis. And you're like, no, I didn't. I didn't even say a word
He
to
just
him.
Popped in.
He walked in and walked on stage.
And didn't even say a word.
Yeah. But sure, yeah, I guess he's my old coworker, Lou. And and then you just be like, that's where I met the girl with the necklace thing, the blowjob.
Really?
Yeah. I met her at, she was like, she
Young
saw me
hip
at some
people,
bar
too.
show and then saw me at Whiplash, and she was awesome.
It was two times. Good enough.
2 times. 2 times, and I got a fucking Rosie the Riveter blowjob. Just roll those sleeves up.
Soder, where can people find you? Oh, you know what I was talking to Esty about? I was saying how shitty comedy is when you were talking about the Broad City.
Yeah.
I was like, comedy's shit now. There's no good. There's nothing good on. Like funny. And she's like, what do you mean? She thought I was talking about stand-up. I'm like, no, stand-up's good. Just in TV shows in general. There's so few that are like actually funny instead of like, that wasn't bad.
Yeah.
They're like actually funny.
Really gut-laughing things.
Where it's like, I want to watch this instead of just like, no, his show isn't terrible. It's like 4 shows a year.
Yeah. And you can name them all very quickly.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I know because it's like what I have my DVR set for.
Yeah.
It's what I look forward to watching.
Yeah.
But I think that
Always Sunny, first 5 years.
I think Always Sunny still.
Really?
I still think they're coming out with great episodes. Last year,
a couple years in a row, it was like, oh, you guys are kind of, you're all starting families now.
when Matt got fat, I was like, all right. But last season they did, I think their best episode where they did The Gang Tries to Win an Award.
Really?
I thought that was one of the best episodes of television I've ever saw.
I got to get back into that because I kind of dropped it after a bad year.
With South Park, I've stayed with it.
South Park's great.
South Park's still consistent.
Yeah, but their off episodes are still pretty good.
I mean, they always have a point.
Yeah, it's always a point. It might just maybe like, oh my god, did you guys see South Park? It might not be one of those every time.
When they came out,
it's still that twice a year at least.
I mean, most of the time, their season premieres are always like
because they had the most time to think about it. That NSA stuff was amazing.
I mean, the Redskins.
Oh yeah,
episode
the Redskins
was unbelievable. You're like, they
was that the
nailed
NCAA one also?
No, that was the one with the crack babies, where he started the crack baby league. My slaves play ball.
No, they're not slaves. They're NCAA athletes. Like, okay, loud and clear.
Yeah. They and like, I think Key and Peele.
Key and Peele's really good.
It's really good. I think Inside Amy's really good.
Inside Amy's good.
Yeah, I think there's Broad City's great.
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of good shows where you're just like, fucking A, man. All right. But I think you're right. There's overall
Key Peele gets me on the clips a lot. I haven't really watched like multiple shows, so I don't know how much of them are clips I'm saying and how much are the shows. But I bet it is good. They're always drawn from the same spot.
I DVR it and then I'm like, I'll cut through a couple.
Workaholics isn't bad, surprisingly.
Yeah, I really like the first 2 seasons.
But it's only cable.
Yeah.
I mean, any sitcom, like
they're not taking
Mulaney
risks.
does good, but the fucking commercials are like, ugh, what is this?
Yeah, well,
just like everything becomes like this gentrified.
It's honestly the mistake networks are making are they don't realize that
the networks are irrelevant.
Yes,
they don't
exactly.
That.
They still have that archaic belief that they have to show family friendly. Everybody's watching.
Yeah,
and you're like, you don't get it. You can be dark on network,
guys. It's also 9:30 instead of 8, and these rules were made for an Arkansas housewife of 1983.
yeah.
That these people aren't around. Who do you think is still getting upset?
They're not going to write. They're not going to write a letter. I also don't like the fact that my phone's always hot.
Oh yeah, it gets hotter, right?
Yeah.
Is your GPS on?
Is that what it is?
Sometimes, but that's a flaw. I had to take mine into the Apple store. I'm like, this is getting hot to the point like it's burning my hand.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay, it's some setting change. And they just gave me a new phone.
Because it's fucking, my pocket's like hot.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's not body heat.
Let me hear for your phone. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's not even an iPhone, is it?
No, it's an iPhone. It's the new 6.
Oh, yeah. It's overheating.
Is that what it is?
Sometimes if you're tethering data, it can be like that because it's working overtime. But that was off in your pocket. That shouldn't be doing that.
Okay.
It's time for you to go 45 minutes on hold with the Apple Care so they can tell you, okay, here's an appointment.
I'm going to go right to the store.
Yeah, do that.
Pull one of those cocksuckers.
This is hot. What are you even talking about? It's hot. Give me a new phone right now.
I want a new one. I'm an American.
2 different slave were used for the making of this.
The Chinese boy that built this fingers weren't nimble enough.
Yeah.
Bring me a nimbler phone.
He should have committed suicide.
Yeah, why is that? My phone is at like 30%.
Oh, it's overheating. It's using the battery too much. Push? Is that all the push on?
Is that what it is?
Maybe. I don't know. It's going over. It's working overtime.
There's nothing on here, though.
Well, then I don't know.
There's like...
I'm telling you, man, I'm done. Since Steve Jobs died, Apple has gone downhill. They're making mistake after mistake.
That really is creepy to the point where I don't think I want to keep my phone on me. It got so hot.
It got so hot. Yeah, I've had that before on the old iPhones.
Okay.
It's weird.
Yeah. So maybe I should just take it
Take
into...
it defective.
Okay. Done.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that.
It's overheating. Well, what did you have? No, you're not understanding me. It was in my pocket and just started getting super hot where it hurt me.
It burned me.
Phone that doesn't hurt me.
Should I do that white person thing?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Can I speak to your manager?
Ma'am, sir, I was waiting in line first. Okay, I just need to do it this real quick.
I'm hurt.
Yeah.
My product is hurt. Fuck them. Oh, God. Yeah, that creeped me out, man.
Soder, where can people find you?
DanSoder.com, at DanSoder on Twitter.
Where are you going to be in the next 3 weeks?
I'm going to be in Appleton, Wisconsin.
Where? I'm going there.
When I'm going to be there the 18th through...
I'm going the week after.
Are you? All right.
Appleton, Wisconsin.
You're going to be there the 23rd through the 25th?
23rd, 25th.
I'll be there the 16th
through the 18th.
And then...
this won't be out by then. This will be out the 20th.
Okay.
It's fuck.
So I'll be in Los Angeles the first week of November.
Doing what?
Just doing shows.
Are you going to get up? Where are you going to get up?
The Virgil, Meltdown.
Okay. Those are both good ones.
Yeah, and then I think we're booking a show. Oh, then I'm going to be back at Laughs in Kirkland, the 20th through the 22nd of November.
Great. I have a lot of fans in Seattle. Maybe they'll come see you. Someone go see Dan and bring him some weed.
That would be fantastic. And I'll be in Austin. I'll be back in Austin December 3rd through the 5th, Cap City.
So there's this guy there in Austin who is a comedy fan, but he makes a living doing that TaskRabbit shit.
Okay.
So he waits in line at Franklin's Barbecue for people.
We were at Moon Tower together, and you got to eat Franklin's.
Me and Robbie went.
Yeah, and you guys went and ate.
So if I were you, I would either get in touch with them and either give them the $30, whatever it is, to wait for you, and then you and whoever's featuring for you can all go out there or whatever, or trade them for tickets.
Done.
One or the other.
I'll give them tickets and give them money.
Yeah.
To wait in line for Franklin's.
So good.
I want to eat it. Because
you and Robbie got there at like 7:15. We got there at 10:53, and we had our food at like 11:05.
Not only that, but you and I went to that one place. You, Kurt, and I, and Nick Mullen went to that place. And what was the name of that place? It was out in the middle of nowhere.
And what's her name? From
Mike Lawrence was with us.
Yeah, but Kristen Zollner.
Yeah,
is she there? Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
And we all went out into that middle of nowhere.
Yeah, with tables in the back.
Yeah, the picnic tables.
Yeah, drank a beer and had those buns or whatever they were. That was good as shit.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, you got to go back there.
Yeah. I forget, Kingston? What was the name of it?
Man,
it was something like Kingston, Texas, right outside Austin. It was fucking...
Oh, that wasn't Kristen Zollner. I was thinking of this... No. This is that barbecue place.
Yeah, the barbecue place that you went...
Oh, right.
Kristen Zollner and I, that was on...
that was at night.
That was at night when we went after the show.
Yeah.
I'm actually meeting her on Thursday. We're hanging out on Thursday. She's awesome. Yeah. But anyways, that was when we had those sticky buns.
Yeah.
Which were unbelievable.
Yeah.
Now, this is the barbecue place that you...
But they didn't have brisket. Didn't you get it?
I got the last brisket.
Go fuck yourself. I'm not putting this podcast out.
Well, I'm just going to remember that sweet, sweet brisket.
The stuff was way too cooked. It was like done by then.
So fucking good.
Yeah, and Mullen and the other guy were like, this is usually better than this.
And I was like, I'm fine with it.
Fuck you. All right. Well, thanks. DanSoder.com.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on, dude.
You're welcome. All right, that's it.
Yeah.
What's the best song about being a single parent or being a kid in a single parent?
Cats in the Cradle, Harry Chapin.
Oh, yeah. That was the episode. Well, you know, it was still pretty good. I don't know. What other questions should I have asked? What else was there for a fucking guy who was raised in a single family household? The thing is, with some of these topics, you'd think they'd be interesting. But then the problem is, or you think they'd be full of, like, you know, discussion. But then the problem is, the experience isn't always your experience. The experience is your parents' experience. So, like, when you're a kid, you don't know the difference between having two parents and having one parent. It's not like you're really, really aware of how different everyone else's lives were. So there's, you know, a few things to ask, but mostly it's just, you're talking about just childhood. Oh, I went to my friend's house and played. You know, and that might have been flavored a little bit with the fact that he didn't have a dad around, but oh man, this bed is soft. But anyway, whatever, you get it. So that's the episode. Go see Dan Soder whenever you can. He's a very funny comedian. I'm not kidding. In Appleton, you can use that ticket code REPOD to get tickets for me and him. But he said since Saturday always sells out anyway, that the tickets are only good for Thursday and Friday for me in Appleton. Great. Also, don't forget, if anybody wants special tickets to my taping on October 29th, Facebook me or contact me, contact@arishafir.com, and tell me why. If you're coming from out of town, I think I need more girls there. I think I probably have all guys, so I need some girls there just to, like, make it even with, you know, whatever. So if you bring your girlfriend, you're coming from somewhere far, let me know, so I can get you in. And especially if you haven't seen me at all in the last year and a half, then I'd be more likely to let you in because, I don't know, whatever. If you've seen the jokes before, whatever, you get it. All right, you guys, that's it for me. I'm staying at this Airbnb. It's fucking rad. No smoke detector. Well, I guess if I die, I'll die that way. I've been doing this thing where so for the first time, when I was in my deepest depression, I would imagine ways I could die. I would, you know, be pulled up next to a truck, and I imagine it blowing up and killing me, or I imagine going under some awning, you know, a construction site, and a piece of cinder block, you know, coming down and just hitting me on the head and killing me. It's pretty fun to do. But for the first time since I've got this special coming up, I thought about something killing me recently, of like dying, maybe on the plane. Maybe we're doing a sharp turn. I was like, oh, we're going down. And then my thought was, oh, fuck. No, not till I record this special. Then we can go down. So I'm saying it here now, as my last will and testament. If I die after I record my special, they should release it anyway. Someone should help edit it. Maybe my manager, Sam Safer. And then maybe she should ask some comedian friends of mine for help. And then put it out anyway. I'm not really going to die, I don't think. It's taking some drastic measures. You guys, I'm in LA until I shoot. I'm so excited. I've still got San Diego this weekend, American Comedy Company with Fahim Anwar, and maybe one show, Lance Kanstopoulos will be there. And then I think Ingram and I are going to go to a Chargers Chiefs game. Go Royals. Because why not? And then Appleton, Wisconsin the week after. And then my special. So go to my website, arithegreat.com for tickets. My tickets for the Storyteller show in New York are now up. So far we have Bridget Everett, who, I don't know if you guys know her or not, but she's funny and a gigantic character on stage. Mark Normand from my podcast. And Jim Norton from Not My Podcast. And I'm still waiting trying to get one more big name. And maybe we'll show a preview of this new season if this is not happening. So that's the first week of November. Yeah. All right, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I'll be back in New York in November. So, if you miss me, I'm not going to be back till November.